Hello and welcome to today's class.
Can you hear me? You can hear me. All right, no problem. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Okay, hi everyone, welcome. If you can hear me, please just react with your favorite emoji. If you can hear me. Good evening, good evening. How you doing? How you doing? So, good, good, good. So, you can tell your friends that we've started. Um, I hope you enjoyed the last class. Um, I'd like us to, I'd like us to somebody should just write a summary of what we had in the last class. Anybody, summary of what we had in the right class. While we wait for others to join, someone should just tell us one of the things. Someone doing that? Or you would rather want to speak? If you want to speak, just raise your hand so that we can bring you up to speak. Uh-oh. I thought you were in my class, Dobra. Oh, I thought you were in my class. I was hoping you would say something about the last class. Okay, Adama, you were there too. I'm asking if somebody can just tell us what he got from the last class. I just want someone to say what he got from the last class. Anyone? Because whatever we're going to teach today is based off of the foundation of what we did the last time. Anybody? Ah, was I a bad teacher? Now you're coming, Dobra. So tell us what you understood by the art of cinematography. Shala, welcome. Introduction to cinematography. Good. So what did you learn? What was your take home from that course, the last course we did? Anyone? Anyone? Can you mute your unmute? If you want to unmute, just raise your hand so that we can unmute. So that we can unmute you. So that we can unmute. So that we can unmute. Anyone? The art of cinematography is the scientific capturing. I like the way you had to add the scientific capturing moving range. Length, length, different types of shots. What a lens is. Thank you, Adama. Who else? Who else? the types, the importance of using different types of shots to amplify storytelling. Good, because we are actually going to talk more on that today too. All right, thank you, Shola. Any other person have something that we can say so that we can now go into today's class proper? We have 5 more minutes to discuss the last time because think think I see some people's uh I can see some persons that were here in the last class. Please say something. Say something. Say something. If you know what we did the last time, say something. Okay. Can I ask my questions now? Because I'm going to call your name and I'm going to ask you a question because I know you in class and I'll ask you a question. Should I go ahead and ask? Please type on the chat box so that I can. Okay. So what is involved in cinematography? It's composition, lighting, camera, movement, lens choices. Amazing. I like that, Dobra. Um, so I would ask one question. Why is it that you cannot film without light? Why is it that you cannot film without light? That's my question. Answer in in the chat box. I was owing somebody something and I said I will give the person something and I'm sure I was in class on Saturday. The person did not remind me, but the person forgot. So I'm owing one person something and light helps to remove shadows. Well, that's good. You tried. So my question, this is my question again. Can you film without light? You reminded me. Are you sure, Adama? Or you reminded me that you were on my set. You were the one that was on my set the last time, right? And we had that conversation, right? Good, Ogochuku. No, you can't film without light. That's good. Can I have why? Ogochuku got that. So I'm owing Ogochuku now. Yes, Dobra light is an important aspect of cinematography. Light is an important aspect of cinematography. Adama, you have my number. Chat me up after this class. Chat me up so that I'll fulfill my promise. I didn't know you were reminding me for that. Light helps create different moods in filming. Beautiful, beautiful. So we have 1 minute to start today's class. And I am I am now owing Adama and owing Ogochuku for being the first to answer, she said, "No, you cannot film without light." Why am I rewarding only the girls in the class? Where are the boys of this class? Where are the men in this class? I need us to take over and lead. So I hope that from today's in today's class, the men will take over. So let me share my screen. Then we would please, can you see my screen? All right, you can see my screen. Mesoma, I know we well done. I saw what you put in there. Good. All right, so today's topic is quite simple, shooting with the camera. Um, I'm going to, I know we have assignments on Link School. Yeah, we have assignments in Link School. But for us, we are going to have time to film to practice all we are learning. Okay? We're going to have time to practice all we are learning. So, shooting with a camera. How many of us have shot with a camera before, or have seen a camera, or have the camera? Just say, "I, sir." Okay, good. So, Ngozi, you have a camera, right? What camera do you have? Let's start with that. Yes, maybe. So, it was looking for you. So, Ngozi, I was asking, what camera do you have? Just type it. Yeah, don't worry. No one is talking. Who has the camera so that I know I can be talking and somebody can be collaborating with me while we go ahead? I just need one person that has a camera. Please, please, please. Who has a camera? Let me know the type of camera that you have. This is going to be, let me know if I can have a camera here. Um, I don't know if I can share my screen and still, I cannot share my screen and still have my video on. Okay. Um, okay, Adaka Ikechukwu, thank you. What camera did you use? Camera. I'll just try. Mm. So you can see my face, right? So I'm going to hold the camera and try to show you some things so that you understand what I'm talking about, right? So Idaka, at least you have used the camera before. Who else has used the camera? Who else has used it? Are you telling me that it's just Idaka that has used the camera or has seen a camera? Is it just one person? Mark 4. Okay, good. Um, any other person have seen a camera? Okay, this is what a camera looks like. Can you see?
Yes.
All right, good, good. This is what a camera looks like. I have used a camera. I'm a photographer. Beautiful. What camera did you use? What camera did you use? All right, so I'm gonna start. So I'll use. So I'm going to use this. So I'm going to use this to teach. All right. I'm going to use this to teach. I know you might not see it clearly, but uh, I would try to I'll try to be as Nikon D750, Canon R8. Oh, you are very versatile. Uh, um, Raman, you understand that cameras are different, right? They have different color profiles, um, different lens mount. Um, their buttons are different. I know there's light reflecting where I am. I'm going to close. Can you close this? I'll try and close it so that we'll see what um I'm showing you. Sorry about that. I'm trying to fix it now. Trying to fix it now. So let's just go on with the slide, and then when I need to show you parts of the camera, no, it's still showing. Mhm. It's still showing now. So I know I also blurred the background around me. I don't know. This is actually. Mm, Uh, give me that diffuser. Open up. So don't worry. I'm trying to. Not that one. Not that one. The reflector. The reflector. That big reflector. Give me the black side. So good. Shooting with a camera. I usually tell people that the camera is not the problem. It is the person behind the camera that is the problem. Because if you can um if you can how will I call it now? Put the gold side, the golden side. Mm. Uh, if you understand, come put it behind me. Uh, Yeah, better. Yes. Yeah. A little bit better. This is better, right? Mm-hmm. What's a little bit better? Okay, to go. Let me go to that place. Okay. Mm. So you understand. So I'm going to move when I need to show you the cameras. Just move. I'll move the laptop so that I'll show you the what to do. So shooting with camera, we're going to talk about different types of camera, their parts, handling, operation, and how the camera works. One of the major things about types of camera, I know there are different types. Every day we keep clamoring to buy like the best, the biggest, the baddest, but sometimes it has nothing to do with It has nothing to do with the camera itself, because there are some people who would give, um, let's say, an array, and they'll still shoot rubbish. There are some persons who would have array and still shoot rubbish, right? So it's not about the camera, it's about the person. That is why you see that we are trying to make sure that you as a person understand camera. So camera have different segments. The fundamentals, of course, you have the types, the parts, and how it works. I will show you that. And then we have the operation and handling. We have the operation and handling. We have the lenses and exposures. And we have the professional practice, right? I will turn off my video now. When I come back on, I'm going to it's going to be sorted out. Someone is asking for attendance or something. So I think they will handle the attendance here. But I didn't see in my last class. I didn't see in my last class because I take note of everyone who was in class and I try to interact with all of them. I didn't see in my last class. So yeah, it's not just to attend class, it's to learn what is being given. Then operations and handling how to set your cameras, how to move them and all that. You understand that clearly when it comes to filming, there is a picture that you want. But in that picture, there is a setting that gives that picture, right? You don't just turn on the camera and take a picture. So I asked a question the last time, and Ogochukwu answered it. Yes, you cannot film without light. Why? Because a camera is a device that records light. Somebody's unmuted. Please, can you mute your mic? Please. Some Somebody is unmuted. You're distracting me. Who is the person talking? George Jerry. Thank you. Mute your mic. Thank you. All right. So yeah. Now, what is a camera? Like I said, a camera is a device that records light. Now, camera, the camera is a device that records light.
What is it? There's a program, no? Here I
So that they will not be able to unmute that. All right. So sorry, I'm back. Some people have been talking at the background. Now, please confirm you can still hear me so that we can go on. Okay. Now, when you use camera, like we said, camera is a device that records light. Now, that light passes through the lens and gets into the camera, and then at that point, it creates your image, right? Your camera has several bodies. So I'll take you through the process later of how an image is formed via the camera, right? But just know that it is a storytelling tool, yeah, and it's quite different from the human eye, okay? It's quite different from the human eye. Now, the camera versus the human eye. Now, the human eye is quite a miracle because it has its own autofocus, it has its own shutter speed, and they all work automatically, and they create a situation where you see properly. There are sometimes you want to wink and look at something very closely. Your eye begins to blur out everything in the background automatically just so you see what you're seeing here, right? Um, give me give me 1 minute. Uh, I'll be I'll be back. Just give me 1 minute. Oh, no, 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 say I did class. No, no. All right, so I apologize for that break. I had to switch location so that I would um I would show you properly the camera. All right, all right, okay. Camera. Sorry for the so that you would look at it better. Oh yeah, now we're settled. Good. So you can see this better now. Yeah, amazing. So the human eye continuously adjusts to light, while the camera records only what is framed. You see why I said the camera is as good as the person behind it, right? So I can take a shot and you can take a shot and your shot would be better than mine because you framed properly, you use the elements in your front and you use the right lens and your audience felt your picture better than mine, right? So it has nothing to do with the camera. So whatever kind of camera you have, you can still use it. All right. Now, types of camera. I don't know who can say what type of camera this is. Just say what you think is this type of camera. Just type in the chat box. Yeah. Just say what you feel. You cannot hear me. Can you hear me now? Okay, all right. Sorry, that was old news. DSL camera, amazing, amazing, amazing. Good. DSL camera. So there are several types of camera. I'm happy that at least some of us get the gist. Now we have the smartphones. Your phones have cameras, right? There are some smartphones now that so many people keep saying that they can film with their camera. No, no doubt, no doubt. It's good. You can film with your phone, right? You can film, but there is this much your phones can do. Because I come to understand that there's a film in Nollywood, Avengers, not Transformers to be precise, where they use Black Magic 6K Pro cameras as what we call um how do they call it now? Cameras that can be broken, that can be um lost while they film because they attach it to cars who are going to be accidented. They attach it to someone falling. So if the camera breaks, it's fine. You understand? Because that's not like the main camera. They use that to attach to it. So when they are grading, they balance the colors. So yes, you can use your smartphones to take some shots and put it and come and add it to your film, and it works. Now they have compact point shoot. I think this is usually for travel photographers. Just put something small, not professional. Just take something small where you go. You take some pictures, and then you're good. Then we have the bridge cameras. This is something that sits between the compact and the DSLR. They are big and strong like the DSLR, but not the DSLR because their lenses are not interchangeable. And I noticed there's a Panasonic Z1000. If you check, there's a 4K camera, but it has one lens. It can zoom from I think 15 to 200 mm. I think so. And we have action cameras. What you see there is a GoPro. What is there is a GoPro where you can use it and run and walk. And when we get to lenses, I'll tell you why wide lenses are mainly used for action cameras. And if you know, you can answer it there so that I know I owe you one. Yeah. We have interchangeable lenses camera. Now, there are cameras that are interchangeable in the sense that you can remove the lens. If you can see what I'm doing, this is a camera, right? It's attached together, but in no time, I would separate it. Now you see this is different, right? And this is different now, okay? So you see there are two figures now I'm holding, but now is one. Now is one. Did somebody see that? Please tell me you saw that. Oh, thank you, Shala. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So now I'm going to ask my next question. Is this a mirrorless camera? Watch clearly. Is this a mirrorless camera? I hear a lot of you shouting, yes, 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 yes. That's good. I like that. I didn't come with my other camera. I would have shown you uh, another option so that we'll know which one is a mirrorless or not. I beg to differ, you saying this is a mirrorless camera, because if you look here, I don't want to touch it so that I don't. If you look here, this is a mirror inside there. Can you see the mirror? Oh, I like the way what's how do I pronounce your name? Ochefije. Sorry if I'm getting it wrong. Out of all the yeses, you're the only one that said no. This is not a mirrorless camera. you can see the mirror sitting down right in the middle there, right? So this, oh, Ukwani, you said no too. Sorry, I didn't see your no. A lot of yeses were coming up. Okay, I see another person said no, self. Raman said no. Ukwani said no. Good. I like that. So some people say this is mirrorless. This is not mirrorless. This has mirror. Okay. I'll come to that again. So that's to show you the difference of mirrorless and mirror. But nah, mirror just as the name applies, it uses mirror. You understand? And passes it to the optical viewfinder, and then you check and you see and you understand what it is. And it's good. It's not bad. It's not something that you say, no, mirrorless cameras are better than these ones. But no mirrorless relies on electronic. They are more electronic. This one is like the first one. Good evening. This one is like the first one that you have, the first set of camera that when I show you how the light passes through cameras, you understand mirror and mirrorless, right? So let's go to the next one. Now, we have cinema cameras. How many of you have seen an Arri, a Blackmagic Osa, a Blackmagic what's that new one now? I'll think of the name. Somebody should name any cinema or high-end camera. Let's know. Any cinema or high-end camera. Just name a few. Panavision, IMAX. Raman, you are somewhere there. Oh, I see you. Red, good. We have Red Dragon. We have the Scarlet. We have different types of red, but red is also part of it. I had mentioned Ari in the morning. Nobody's typing Ari. Raman, have you worked with the Panavision? Because I know it is difficult or hardly used in Nigeria. Unless probably persons from outside came in here to film. Just let me know if you have worked with it, because there's a particular question I want to ask to that regard. Any other person? Gemini, Blackmagic Gemini 5, yeah, okay, good. It's like they are going online to search. Please search. I want you to search. Don't think that I'm afraid of you using AI. Go and search so that you will learn. It's a part of learning. Hmm? Don't worry, the time is coming, you'll find one to watch. I haven't worked with actually. I just know cinematographers that I look up to that use that. Are they in Nigeria, Raman? Are they in Nigeria? I doubt if they are Nigerians. If they are, please let me be sure if they've shot in Nigeria with that film. Oh, I just said it. They're international cinematographers. Good. So exactly. But if I tell you that camera is like old school, I hope you know it still uses tape. It doesn't use this our SD card and stuff like that. It uses tape. Do you know that? You should know that, right? And that camera is used to shoot some of all these blockbuster movies that we're watching. You see, so I try to tell people, I know they've made some high-end cameras a little bit easy, red and all that for us to watch and say, okay, yeah, let's use it and manage it. But I hope you know Red has merged or bought over Nikon. I'm not really sure about the story, but I know they have a camera now, Z something, Nikon Z something, which is red. And I hear that it's a very good camera. It's cheaper than the Sony A7 III or the S series and FX. And I hear the picture quality is better. I'm not here to advertise for them. I'm just trying to tell you what my colleagues have said too. So I don't know if any of you have used it. So these are the different types of cameras. We have the drone. Of course, drones are used for aerial views. There are sometimes you use drone for some different kind of panning and tilting if you're very good. You understand? And some moving and pushing in and pushing out types of shots. They have broadcast cameras, those ones that have the teleprompters in front of them or by their side that you can use, right, to give news and all that. Those cameras are also good and very good. Yes, and the cameras that Raman mentioned are part of film cameras. They are analog, right? They're analog. They still use their photochemical films to shoot, and they all have anamorphic lenses, and they achieve shots that even some of these our DSLR high-end cameras may not achieve. So at this point, I need you to really, really know, because we are going to choose the camera now. So before you choose the camera, please don't come here and tell me it is my camera that did this, my camera that did that. No, it is you that did it, because the camera is a tool in your hand. It is you that determine that. So if you want to remain at the beginner, let's keep using your smartphone, and let's get some of all these um, travel cameras, some of all these other phones, smaller camera pieces that you take pictures with, and then you go. Yes, you can also use even DSLRs. You can also use mirrorless cameras as part of beginners. They have Nikon D50, 500. They have Canon, Canon Rebels. They have um, 7D Mark II, 5D Mark II, Mark III, Mark IV. I hear Mark V is even out. So all these are still part of beginners. If you want to start getting into professional cameras, you start talk of Canon C, the C series begin to come into play. So when you want to film a documentary, you can also use a mirrorless camera, depending on how good you are, and depending on how your budget is, you can use the Panavision as by a man documentary. Filmmaking, yes, you can use high-end cameras, you can use mirrorless. You can use a phone, because I know of a film that they had a scene where they went in underwater to shoot. So they used the iPhone and they went underwater and shot and used that clip just for that scene alone. So you can use a phone, but I am not sure that very high-end films would employ the use of cameras, phones to film throughout, unless persons who have shot on camera, on phones rather, as to the fact that they just want to shoot with phones. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's very possible for you to use your phone and shoot a film from start to finish. But I need you to understand that it has a lot of practice to do. The phone is quite very light. You have to have a lot of rib cages, accessories put around it, so that at least it will be a little heavy. And you have to attach lenses to it too, because I noticed that there are lenses for phone cameras too. They have been done. So photography, you can of course use the DSL cameras and all that. Basic parts of the camera. So we're going to take you through that. Suleiman, thank you. So we have uh in when I opened this camera before, now see the lens. Light passes through here, through here, and I wish I could show the image I will take now. You see? So light goes through here. Don't mind it, it cannot focus because it's too close. Let me see if I can use manual focus. So if you can see, I took a picture of what is on the screen. So it shows you that light comes in through here, and because I have light around me, the light is coming through here, just like the picture is showing the lens. This is the lens. In the lens, there are things, and on the lens, there is this one here. This is the focus. And because this is not a zoom lens, it has only the focus puller. Has only the focus puller attached to it. It doesn't have anything for zooming in and zooming out. It has only this. I will check if there is a zoom lens. Yeah. Uh, Sorry, hold on. So with the zoom lens, you will see the two rings. This is the focus ring. They have the zoom ring. When I'll get they are getting the other lens for me, and I'll show you. They are getting the other camera. So inside the camera now, if you see what they showed you there, first of all, inside the lens already, inside the lens, there are several concave and convex um, glasses that refracts and reflects the light that comes. So when they do that, they pass it into this mirror. Now, when it hits the mirror, behind the mirror, if you check very well behind the mirror, there is a sensor there that's our shutter. That's the one that you see is the shutter, right? There, thank you. So there's a sensor there. Then from there, if you look up, I don't know if you can see it up here, just up here, you will see the other mirror that is up there that reflects the light out through to the point where you will see. I'll get a clearer diagram, but let me show you the. So if you see, I've gotten the other camera. This is the focus ring. This is the zoom lens. You can see the lens is going out and coming in. This is a zoom lens. Okay, okay. We should share. Okay, okay, okay. All right. So I was trying to show you that this is. So this is the zoom lens, right? What this lens is from 18 to 135. So at this point, I am at 135. And at this point, I am at 18. If you understand lens, when you are at 18, that means you are what? Anybody? When you're at 18, that means you're what? Somebody, when you're 18, when your lens is 18 mm, what does that mean? Closer to the object. Are you sure? Rahman, come to my rescue. Oh, that you can only capture. I'm not talking about focus length. I'm talking about yes. only subjects within 18 mm away from you are in focus. But that doesn't mean you will not capture other objects that are far off or far or closer than 18 mm. It just shows that they will not be in focus. However, what that means is that an 18 mm lens is a much wider lens than 135. True? Good. Wide angle. Good. You are getting it now. So usually wide lenses have difficulty giving you blur, the blur film. Not like it cannot happen. It can, but it's difficult because when the lens is wide, the lens has been trained to want to see almost everything. So you only objects within 18 mm, maybe when you turn up the ISO and all that, it can now be focused, and then the background or foreground will be blurred. Yes. So we have camera parts. There are different camera parts. We have um, the body. This is the camera body. This is the camera body, right? This is the camera body. This is the camera mount. Here. This is where they mount. This is where they mount the lens. So this is the body. This is the mount. Always be careful of your mount because the mount may differ. For example, the cameras I have here, they have two different types of mount, right? So this mount may not enter the other lens. So this is the lens for this mount. This is it. If you can still see the same thing, the same thing. The lens, this is the lens. This is the lens, right? Now, there are image sensors inside here, especially when you have a mirrorless camera, you will see image sensors. These ones also have, yeah, but if it was with the mirrorless camera, it would be easy for you to have access directly to the sensor. I don't want to touch the distance inside to mean us having to clean again. Okay. Now I want to talk to aperture and shutter speed. I'll still show something. I want to see if I can. Uh, I don't know if you can see it, but if you look through here, the wider you go, can you see any difference in that lens? Look inside, look through here. Any difference? Okay. So, all right, thank you. Can I do it again? Okay. Oh yeah. Some cameras can take pictures without lens attached to it, but the question is, what do you want to film? You may not even get anything. We can try it now. We'll try it now. Okay. We'll try it now. Let's see. So as you see how small the hole is when you go, it opens, right? Are you seeing it? Can you see it's closing? Can you see it's opening? Oh yeah, you can see it now. Now, you remember when we say you're letting light come in, right? So when it is like this, what happens? So much light is supposed to come in, right? When it's like this, not enough light is supposed to come in, right? Good. So someone said, can the camera take pictures without lens? It's supposed to. So I put on the camera now without lens. Let's see. It took a picture. Did you hear that? But the image you're going to see is all white. It's not focused. It's all white. If you can look at the picture it's taking, you can see what is happening. It's all white. There's no image because the lens did not direct the light to where it should be. So now I have put the lens and I am taking pictures. You can see the difference. It's not blurred. I just took it like that. It's not sharp, rather. I took it like that. But you can see the difference between now and then. But Raman, we just did it now. We took pictures without the camera. But if you're saying that can the camera capture image without lens? I guess the answer is no. But without the picture, without the lens, the camera can take pictures, but not form an object. Because when I gave you the definition, I made you realize that the camera works with light through the lens to create an image. Did you get that? Raman, are we clear on that? Are we clear so that I can move on? So the aperture controls the light that comes in. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, we are together now. Now, I really don't know how to know if you can see the inside. So this is, I want to try and check the aperture. So, see, uh, I wish I had a cinematic lens. I would have just used the aperture there and open it. What you get to see is what the aperture actually does, right? In a cinematic lens, the aperture is usually here. So in cinematic lenses, high-end cameras, you have, if it's a zoom lens, you have the focus, you have the zoom focus ring, zoom ring, aperture ring, right? But this is not a manual aperture. This is electronic aperture. So it's not controlling my source of light. But usually what the aperture does is if you look in here, you will see that the aperture opens when you're coming closer. Like when the number is f1.8. When you have f1.8, that means you're opened so much. But when you have 11, that means you have closed so much. And remember, the aperture is responsible for the amount of light that comes in, right? It's responsible for the amount of light that comes in. While the shutter speed is responsible for how long that light stays. That is why it is shutter speed that creates motion blur. If you go too low, if your shutter speed is anything below 50, you should be seeing motion blur. If your shutter speed is anything above, let's say 120, 160, that's why photographers, sports photographers, their shutter speeds are always between 160 and 220. So that as the character is running, when they take a picture, it is the moment the camera took that picture that it takes. You will not see any blur, you will not see anything happening. It takes that picture as it is. But if it was 50, you still see that it is a blurred image. You'll be wondering, my image is not sharp. My image is not sharp. Why? Just increase your shutter speed a little bit. Once it goes above 160, it becomes sharp. But once it's below 50, or let's say 100, especially if you're a field photographer, you'll be getting blurs. Uh, um, Aperture for light. Yes, aperture is for light. Yes, yes. Do you have a problem with that so that we can discuss that? Chukukere. All right, good. Now there are other parts in a camera. We have the SD card. This type of card is called the CF card. That is copy fast card, CF card. Then it also has the SD card. Yeah. It also has the SD card. So this card has two options, right? That's the SD card. It has jacks. It has the microphone. It has the microphone here. If you check, it has the microphone. These two dots here. These two dots here. I will come to ISO. These two dots here. We have the microphone. We have the headphones, right? Then, of course, cameras come with tripod stands and come with other things attached to it. Yeah, someone said ISO. ISO simply means sensitivity to light. ISO means sensitivity to light. How sensitive is your camera to light? What that means is, I don't know if you can see this. I don't know if you can see this. I don't know if you can see this. The ISO is like 200. Can we see that? ISO is 200. Now, I know it's blur. I'm gonna have to unblur my, I've unblurred now. Can you see it now? Can you see it now? Can you see it? Ah, okay, okay. This should be better now. You should be able to see it now. You see ISO 200, right? Yes, the yellowish side. This yellowish side, yeah. So what you can do, I've clicked on ISO and the light. So that is ISO. So I've increased it. I'm reducing it. I'm increasing it. Right? Can you see it work? Good. So I'm going to tell you this is how it is sensitivity to light. What that means is, but I'll advise you on what to do so that you get to understand it better. Now, for ISO, there is every camera has its native ISO. Native ISO. Native ISO. What that means is that this is the ISO that the camera is comfortable with. This is the least. Some native ISOs, depending on the settings, can be 800. Some native ISOs can be 200, 100, 400, right? So when you're filming indoors, make sure your ISO is within 200 and 400. I said that in the last class. When you're filming outdoors, you can bump up to 800 because outside we have enough light. Why are we doing this? To avoid noise. You understand? So I'm going to share my screen now. I'll ask them to share my screen. Hold on. Can you share my screen? Can you share my screen? Just the slide so that I should share it. Uh, okay. All right. So can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen? All right, good. So now you can see what I was trying to tell you about the camera, right? And you can see why light is key. Why light is key. You get light is key. So when light comes in, you can see the way the lens, depending, that first one is they have concave, they have convex, depending on how this thing is. The lens will twist and arrange the lens and pass it on. If it is a mirror camera, it bounces on the mirror, it goes up, it bounces here, and then it comes out to your viewfinder, and that is what you see. So when you look through your mirror and you look at it, that is what you're looking at. Then at the back, you see the sensor and shutter. At the back, you see the sensor and the shutter. So most cameras that are mirrorless just have a sensor down here, and then the shutter speed, and then the film. The three of them are here. That is why mostly those ones that are mirrorless usually heat up quickly and all that. Even though mirrors heat up, but you get what I mean. Now, the technical aspect of it from light to fire. First of all, the light passes through the optical formation, which is the lens. So, Raman, now you understand why without the lens, I can take a picture, but I will not form anything. It will just be light rays scattered everywhere. So the lens now directs the picture, image I have put to the mirror, But at the same time, as it's getting to the mirror, it's getting to the shutter, it's getting to the sensor at the back. So the sensor at the back is capturing that image. And as it's forming that image, it presents it as that is the image of shot. Is that clear? Now, for color science, several cameras have different color science. There are some cameras that are 422. There are some cameras that are 442. There are some cameras that are 444. These are color codec. This is RGB, 4 arrows, 4 greens, 4 blues. If you notice, maybe you can try it when you want to film. If you have a camera that is 440 or 420, put a blue, somebody wearing a blue cloth, right? Put him in a dark space. Somebody wearing a blue cloth, somebody wearing a black cloth, put him in a dark place and try to take a picture with a low light. You will see what I call video noise in that image. You will see that it is because of the blue. Now, the person wearing red is not having the noise. The person wearing green is not having the noise, but the person wearing blue will have noise. Do you get? Now, when you're recording, the file has different sizes. Your file sizes also matter because so many people rush to go and film, and then you don't have hard drives to put your film inside. And then by the time you start shooting, one file is like 200 gig. And you begin to wonder, what did I film that is 200 gig? It depends on your codec. We have the H.264, which is usually the less heaviest. We have the ProRes, we have the RAW. We have the Blackmagic RAW, we have the Red RAW, we have the ARRI RAW. Any RAW file you choose. The last job I did, I shot with an ARRI. One footage of 1 minute was giving me 3 point something gig. And when I was copying the file, the person was telling me, what did I do that I'm collecting gig like this? But I shot in RAW. Now, and if you check those RAW, their codecs are large. They are like, one, the resolution. Resolution has to do with the size of the picture. We have 1920 1080p. We have 2190 1080p. We have 3 and so on and so forth till 4000 something. That is 4K, 3K, 2K. You understand? So most of us now are using 1080p, which is the normal 2K, almost 2K because it's 1.1920, which is almost 2, right? So if you are filming in a high resolution of about 4,000 by 3,000, your image is first of all very big, right? And then by the time it's very big, if you're shooting 444, it is capturing enough details. It is capturing all the shades of red, all the shades of green, all the shades of blue. So when you compress the file and record, by the time it gives you 1 minute, that is like 2 gig or 3 gigs of recording. Now, why we choose lenses? Now, lenses are very key. They tell a lot of story, right? We have what we call the anamorphic lens. Has anybody seen the anamorphic lens? Has anyone seen the anamorphic lens or know what the anamorphic lens is about? Oh, good. Uh, they are not usually common, but normal lenses shoot in what I call zero O format, while the anamorphic lens shoots in an oval format. It stretches your image more. That's what an anamorphic lens does. It stretches your image more. You can browse about it. It will help you. Uh, can browse about it. That's the name. Sorry, there's supposed to be an O here. Yeah, you get that. So the lens you choose. If you remember earlier, somebody was telling me, do we have can we have blurred background, especially when we're using wide lenses? The answer is usually almost no, because even if you get blurred background, it will not be very blur. It's not the type of blur that people watching film may really, really just see and be like, oh yeah, 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 that's it. But it could be, but when you use an 85 mm to shoot a figure, excuse me, when you use an 85 mm and shoot and blur the background, you will not even know or see whoever is at the back. But I can assure you, if you use a wide lens and blur, you may still see the seemingly image of that person. If you have questions, please ask so that for now, I'll be moving quite fast, then we'll get there. Now, focal length. Um, just like Raman said, when you have an 18 mm lens, the focus is usually around 18 mm. Not like it cannot go back, it can go back, it can come forward. But note that all things being equal, when I say all things being equal, is when you open up your aperture and open up your shutter, your focal length is usually best around 18 mm. And an 18 mm lens will make sure that you have a very wide angle. So remember when they say large field of view, more environment visible. So when you're shooting with a wide angle, you hardly get bokeh. Bokeh is when your background is blurred. Normal is when it's close to the human eye. This should be like 35, 50, and 85 mm. By long, we have like 70 to 200, 300, 500, 1000 mm. Now, ultra wide. You see, just like I said, 8 to 20 and 18 is part of ultra wide. Extreme environment, distortion, psychological unease. You see this wide lens now, if I bring it close to your face, there's a way your face will look like. It will look a little bit distorted. So if you want to shoot a scene where a guy has run for like 2 minutes and is somewhere breathing and he's scared of things like that, you use such a lens so that by the time you show his face, you show that his face he's in trouble, he's in turmoil, and things are not so easy. Now, 24 to 35, it is still wide, you understand, but not so wide. But it has more energy, it has more tension, it's a little bit closer, it's not so wide. Then normal lenses are from 40 to 60, short telephoto lenses from 70 to 105. Telephoto is from 135 to 300 plus, right? Now, the best lenses for okay, 20 mm. What happened to 20 mm? Nasiru, what happened to 20 mm? The best lenses you can use for CUs are 50 and 85. Most people use 35 mm, depending on the situation, but mostly 50 and 85. Remember, I was showing you prime lens versus zoom lens. In the prime lens, you have only one ring, which is the focus ring. But in the zoom lens, you have the zoom ring and the focal ring, right? That's just the difference between the prime lens and the zoom lens. Major difference. But the other difference, the prime lens has a steady aperture and has better low light performance. Why? Because when you zoom, your aperture changes if your aperture figure changes. Because when you move from 18, like this camera I have, if you're at 18 mm, your aperture is at what did they where did they put it? Where did they put it? Sorry, hold on. There's no battery in this one. Okay. Now I know it moves from 2 to 4.5. If you put on the camera, the lowest aperture you can go is 2. So you can see it's not as wide as this one, which goes to 1.2. This one goes to 1.2. So this one opens up more than this one. All right. And zoom lenses are not always as sharp as um, prime lenses. Okay. If you see what's on the slide, wide lens and telephoto lens. Objects appear far away. Backgrounds recede, creates energy, urgency, and special. Telephoto compresses. If you go to the person's face, you can show that the background. If you see that wall, can you see my cursor going around this? Especially when you want to capture the lion, right? Shala? Shala, is that what you're asking? Because not one lens is used. Not one lens can be used. Shala, are you there? Not one lens can be used. G Master lens is a type of lens, right? It's a type of lens. So you have to determine whether it is a prime lens. When I mean type of lens, it is a maker. G Master is a production company, it's just like Samsung TV. They also have Panasonic TV, Toshiba TV, right? So the G Master lenses, they are very good lenses, but the G Master lenses still has prime lens, zoom lenses, and they have a better aperture. Some of them go as low as 0.8. Yeah, some of them go as point as 0.8. But the lens that we use for Nat Geo wide is something like 70 to 200, 300 to 500, 1000. Some people have as much as 3000 because you cannot go live and stand beside camera lion and say you want to use 35 mm and capture the lion about to hunt. My brother, I am not sure you will come back. So please, if that is what you're doing, if that is your job, or if that is a field you want to go into, please learn to get telephoto lenses. Learn to get telephoto lenses. Very wide one. Minimum 70. 70 is even too close. Like I have a 135 prime lens, so you can do like from 135 to 300 and then do like from 300 to 500 and do like from 500 to 1000. So that will help you a lot, okay? Now we have been talking about depth of field a lot, right? That means that your background is blue, just like it's blood. Depth of field means your background is blood or your foreground is blood, right? If you look at the image, look at the last one that has those things that look like ninja something, like circle and all that. That is what I was trying to show you, the aperture. If you open your aperture to 1.4, it opens up to the end of the circle. But if you go as far as, let's say, 11, it becomes small like this. I'm sure this one we are looking at should be around 8, 9, 10, 11. What that image is about 8, 9, 10, 11, what we see there. Now, a shallow depth of field means your aperture is wide. That means your aperture is either at 1.4, right? And then your focal length, right, is long, so that your background will be blurred. Did you get? So that means if you want to do that, you can push the person like a little bit further reduce it, your focal length will just capture only that image. And then when you do that, you now blur the background and blur everybody. Then we have the one that is deep focus. That is the narrow aperture. That is, you have increased your aperture. That is about 4 or 5.6 or something. And then you have a wide lens. Everything will be sharp. You understand? Everything will be sharp. Now you use it more in documentary and environmental storytelling, right? So you should know when to use it. There are some filmmakers for the last class we had. There are some filmmakers who like showing, who want to show everything. Deep focus is their this thing. Yes, this is where you are. But there are sometimes like you want to blur the background. Who can remember why we blurred the background from the last class? Who can remind me why we blurred the background of that image we saw? Why did we blur it in the last class? Why? Anyone? Good. Distractions. Distractions. So even if you are a deep focus filmmaker, please take your object to a lonely place so that you can capture him alone, so that our focus will be on him alone. You can't bring him and put him in the market and everything in the market is in focus. I wonder the story you want to tell, unless you are just trying to tell us or show us everything in the market and our focus is not on him alone. Our focus is on everything in the market, right? So I've already taught you this fast and slow lenses. Now, when the lens is at 1.4, 1.8, so much light enters, right? And it creates the blur I was talking about. Then when you increase it to 5 or above, now you limit the number of lights, then you have less bouquet shots. So many things are in focus. Now, close up. They said 85 mm to 105 to avoid facial distortion and achieve flattering, intimate portrait. Now, this is also good, but I also need you to understand that you might be filming inside a room and you don't have space to put your 85 mm and get a CU. Usually a CU is from the breast up, right? From the breast up, a good CU is from the breast up. So it's better you can also use a 35 mm to do a CU. You can also use a 50 mm to do a CU. But like I said, the best is a 50 and 85. But when you're inside a place that is tight, this is what you do. Then wide shot, of course, 24 to 35 can give you a wide shot. Medium shot, 50. Then emotional tone, wide. You can use wide and then know how to play with it. And we are going to have time to film. We are going to film. Now, drama, you can use 50 to 85. Action, wide lenses more. Horror, wide lenses. Documentary, zoom lenses, and photo lenses. Now, professional lens kits. Now, basic 24, 50, 85. If you have these three, you're good to go. I don't have these three. I have 35, 50, 135, 70 to 200, and 300. That's what I have. Now, my colleague has 85 and he has 18 to 135. So he is good to go. Now, they have starter kits. Starter kits are 18 to 55 mm lens. It's everywhere, and they have the one 50 to 50 mm. I still use this one sometimes. So these have still low light. They are still good. So don't break the bank. If you have any of this, go out there today and do something. Now, exposure. Now, the exposure triangle. We have the aperture, we have the shutter speed, and we have the ISO. If you can see my end, you will see video noise. Video noise happen when ISO is too high. All right. but there is a way you need to mix this to now control light quantity and depth of field, controls exposure time and motion, control sensor sensitivity and noise. So if you have a noise in your image, ISO is the problem, right? I shot a film the last time and we had an ND filter on because we're outside. When we came inside, the cinematographer was so distracted pressing phone and forgive my French, talking to all the ladies and all the men on set. You know, when you're a fine boy, you come on set, you fail to understand that you've come to work. The next thing you're doing, you're trying to gist with one person, gist with one boy, gist with one girl, trying to connect for another job when you have not even done this one well. You know, you keep doing all these things. When we were at post editing, I realized that we had a video, one camera had video noise. Tracing it back, I just remembered that day, that event, and remembered the owner of the camera. And I got really mad. I was shaking my head. And I was like, how can you finish shooting outside with ND filter? You come inside, because your image is dark, you begin to increase ISO. And you fail to understand that your ISO when you're indoors should not be more than 400. You're now sending ISO to 800. And then we have video noise. It becomes a problem to fix in post. And the other camera cannot match it. So I hope I'm training people who will not be distracted like the DOP I worked with the last time. So some of you have been asking me, what is aperture? This is what aperture is. I've talked about it so much, I'm not going to dwell on this. Take your time and read it. Just know the aperture allows light and depth. So anytime you're doing anything depth, some people use shutter speed for depth. Yes, but don't do too much of it. You start looking too sharp. Don't do too much of it. Just let your aperture do the depth that it can do. And if it doesn't work, Gospel said he's having a good time. Eh, I'm glad you're having a good time. I hope you're learning too. Please. So that's what aperture does, right? Shutter speed, motion, and time. Remember, shutter speed is what does motion and time. Lower shutter speed, you have blur. You see what it does? At 30, you have blur. When you go up, the, the blur goes. And when you're filming, make sure your shutter speed is twice your frame rate for smooth and clean pictures. If you're shooting at 30 frames per second, your shutter speed should be 60. If you're shooting at 24, your shutter speed should be 48. Okay? ISO is just sensitivity to light. Okay, you see what they say, low ISO 100 to 400 produces clean, noise-free images in bright conditions. High ISO allows shooting in low light, but introduces digital noise and grain. Okay, I didn't even read this before you got it. Yeah, thank you. Now, if you check your camera, they have metering, histogram, and dynamic range. Dynamic range usually doesn't show on your LCD frame. You understand? It doesn't show on the LCD frame. That is, uh, but you get to know because when you open the dark areas of your picture, you will just see only black. You won't see the details of the black. Maybe let's say there was a screw on the black chair. When you zoom in, you should be able to see the screw of the black chair. But most cameras just make everything there black. So that's dynamic range. That is why we look for cameras that have 444 and have a high dynamic range. You see, the histogram is something that is like, I'm sure we all know what a histogram is. Please tell me you know what a histogram is. I don't know how to describe it right now. I think you can ask the organizers, they will be able to share the PDF. Can iPhone and camera be of the same pixel and aperture? I don't understand what you mean by pixel. It is obvious that they cannot, but there are some apertures that can shoot at 4K iPhones, but that doesn't mean that they will match an ARRI that we're shooting at 6K, right? We'll just have to put the picture there and try to, and we have the aperture. And most apertures are almost, aperture is aperture anywhere, but you need to blend the images, right? You need to blend the images. Don't just throw anything that comes your way. Good, Paul. Histogram is like a graph chart. So in the graph, you will see that there are three sides. 1, 2, 3. The middle, yeah. The middle is where you should take note of. The middle. Because the left is shadows, the end is highlights, the middle is exposure. The middle is exposure. The middle is exposure. Um, sorry, hold on. Yeah, all right, so that's it. So the metering is just shows you some things that you have to know: exposure, um, um, white balance, all this is there on your camera meter and all that. The image sensor, 36 by 24 frame, full frame. This is crop frame. This is there are different types of sensors, like they crop it. What that means is if you put a lens, the lens it crops it. We have the sensor. Now this sensor talks about the resolution, how large your video files can be. Then noise performance, how good the noise can be. Then roller shutter, how fast it is. Different cameras, these are just specifics. All these ones I need to show you why we work. For those of us who will be part of the film we are going to shoot, I will show you what it is. We have manual focus, we have autofocus. Please, when you're filming, don't use autofocus. Use manual focus. Please, when you're taking pictures, don't use manual focus. Use automatic focus. All right. We have other types. We can rack focus. You can pull focus. You can hyperfocal distance. You can front back focus. These are just cinematic styles added to how you shoot, right? White balance and color control. Yes. Now, white balance, don't use auto, please. If you're filming, don't use auto so that it doesn't adjust anytime you go into somewhere else. Your pictures will be looking like aliens, right? So now, white balance manages your colors and your color field. If you want cold colors, you go down to from 7,000 down back to 2,000. From 3.2, we have warm orange colors. 5.6, we have neutral. From 4.7 to like 5, we have neutral. You understand? So it means a lot of things. It means morning, it means afternoon, it means night. If you cool down and arrange it well. These are automatic mode of shooting. We have auto mode, program mode, aperture mode, shutter priority, and manual mode. I always shoot in manual. I advise that you do the same too. I have already talked about the frame rate and recording, and we have said you can do 4K. You can shoot in 4K. You can shoot in. But when you're shooting and if you're the one editing, please note and confirm if your laptop can carry 4K footages and if you can actually edit a 4K footage. If not, you'll finish filming and your camera will be snail walking for the next 2 years and you're not done editing that film. Now, I talked about the frame rates. Now we have the 24 frames per second. We have the 20, 25 or 50, please. 25 or 50 and they have 30 or plus 60. All right. They have 25 or 30. These are two different. So 30 and 60 are one, 25 and 50 are one. Now these are high frames for this, and it now moves in slow motion, right? Okay. Then we are shooting 4K, 6K, 8K. This is called resolution. This is frame rate. 4K, 6K, 8K is resolution. So we have the codec, bitrate, and recording format. I talked about this earlier. We have the H.264, H.265, XAV, then smaller file sizes efficient for delivery and storage. This one. When you now go and start shooting ProRes, B-RAW, raw video files, these are large. So anyone you want to choose, it depends on where you're going. If you're going to do a film that you want to put in high-end film, always use high quality formats. All right. Now for image stabilization, many people usually say it's not good to use handheld. I said that's not true. It depends on the situation, right? There are lenses that have inbuilt stabilization. There are camera bodies that have inbuilt stabilization. You can also use while you're editing, you can also use the inbuilt stabilization there. Now you use your hand to hold it depending on the situation. Like now, if two people are fighting, I would rather use my hand to film that. Then you have steady cams, you have gimbals, you have yeah, you have so many that I'm just thinking of. Trains, tracks, all this movement, but they are steady. So, but handheld is the only one that is not steady, right? Handheld is not steady, but whether I like it or not, handheld is a style of filming. All right, so you have to have a good body posture, good body posture where you're filming. Put your straps for safety, and you understand. Always clean your cameras. I always take out my cards and my batteries when I finish shooting. Remove my lens. When I want to start, I clean everything from beginning again and mount it up together. So operating the camera, right? We have the power and the card. Insert the battery, insert the card, then format and project. What that means is format it, set the new project, give it a name if your camera names, style that and all that. Then choose the resolution and frame rate you want to shoot in, set it up, check for exposure, make sure that your audio is working and everything, and then you film. Okay. And then you film. Okay. Now, of course, I've just shown you camera and lens. There are other supporting documents. We have tripods, we have monopods, we have gimbals, we have sliders, we have rigs, we have cages, we have filters. I talked about ND filters lately. Now, even as you're filming, there's monitoring tools and audio basics. There's zebra and false color. Now, in my camera, there's zebra. Zebra usually used to show where there's highlights are too much. To get the black magic, there's a button you press that gives you blue, green, red. You understand? When it is red, it shows that it is exposed too much. The highlight is overexposed, and then you have to reduce the highlight. So there are monitoring tools to help you have a good picture. Then they have waveform to help you check sound, especially those that have the sound recorder on set and audio meters and all that. Then the microphone, you have the lapel mic, you have the boom mics, right? Then file management. Now, when you finish shooting, trust me, that SD card they gave you, eh, is your life. Some of you will put it, wrap it in paper and put it in your pocket and go where they are doing bet Nigeria and sit down first and finish betting before you remember to go and copy your files. Then while you're there doing bet Nigeria, because of the energy you're exerting, as you're shouting, enter, enter, go, 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 you're sweating. As you're sweating, it has soaked your paper. As it has soaked your paper, your SD card now has been compromised. You now get home, you carry that card, you put it inside to copy. They tell you the error. So you have shot a film with 1 million, 2 million the whole day, and you gave it to somebody who doesn't know the worth of what you have shot. He went to Bet Niger to spend just, and in his mind, let me just take 30 minutes or 1 hour. Let me just check if I would cash out. And then, boom, you've lost your 6 million for the whole day. So in case we finish teaching you, some of you may not even, before you start, you may be working in this department as the file manager, as the DIT. So immediately they give you your card, offload that card immediately to OneDrive. Immediately you format, remove it to OneDrive. From that drive, move it to another drive. I always tell people, I don't shoot film if you don't give me 2 drives. You must give me 2 drives. I must have 2 drives. One is backup, one is the main drive. So that even though I give it to the editor and the editor is also going to play bet, and that one spoiled, I still have another back, another, it's everywhere I go first blow. Of course now, I still have another one for you, for us to use. So you must protect those files. Those files are key. So that is why if I don't know if you've heard the saying, say if you hold camera, if you they fall, make sure say now your bone break. Let it not be the camera that broke. You understand? So, but then I now add, why should you fall in the first place? So you can see I've already corrected you. Don't shoot in auto. Don't set your white balance anyhow. Don't put shutter speed high or low. So check for these issues, right? So these are practical exercise and professional decision making. Now, I need to know how you do this and send it to me. Okay. This is going to be in the assignment, well. They'll upload it to this. Good. So now I need you to do this assignment and upload it to what do you call it? Link school. I need to watch this. Let's see. Shoot in all modes. Record the same scene in auto, aperture priority, shutter priority, and manual to understand each mode's effect. Focal length comparison. Shoot the same object at 24 mm, 50 mm, and 85 mm to see how perspective and compression change. You understand the assignment, right? It's quite easy. Compare low versus high ISO results and fast versus slow shutter speeds on moving objects. Choose camera, lens, and settings based on story, motion, lighting, movement, and delivery platform. So I need to see this, right? Now we have log and workflow. Log is not entirely raw. I'm trying to find what I'll use to explain the difference between log and raw. Let me give you an example. Yes, I have one now. How many of you have seen the blueprint architecture of building a house? Uh, if you don't have camera, you can come to the center and you can find a friend and hire, you can borrow. Just try and do it. And you need to learn. It's for your own good. I'm sure, ask a friend, phone a friend, ask a friend. Go somewhere, Baba, I bet make a try. Go to any photo studio, say, I'm learning this. I have this. Can I do this? Can I do that? I am very certain that they will let you. Good. So you have seen a plan, blueprint, and you've gone to the grass, right? Where they've not even cleared the grass to build the house, right? That is what we call raw footage. But how many of you have seen an uncompleted building that is not, the doors are not yet there, it's not yet painted, the roof is there, but it's just that the doors are not yet fixed and no, the frame of the roof is there, not the roof. That is the what we call log. So for log, you have uh, limited options to work with. But for raw, you have high options to work with. You can redo some things and rebuild some things. So we have the depth and color latitude. Now for 10-bit and 12-bit recording, they provide more tonal steps to smooth gradients and aggressive color grading without banding. What that means is that if you have please, those who are saying they don't have a camera, I thought I've just given you a way to try to get it. Ask somebody. Ask the center. I'm sure you have a center representative you can talk with. And then, I don't know, we talked about the first level, which is the basic learner. We talked about the phone. Your phone can give you different lens sizes. You can download an app that will take a picture at 18 mm, 50 mm. All your problems usually solved. I can give you an app. It's called Magic something, something. I have a Lumix Magic. I think it's Lumix Magic. So you don't have an excuse. Use your camera. Yes, they have Black Magic too. Thank you on iPhones and high-end Samsungs. You can get your Black Magic and take a picture. You have Filmic Pro. You have Filmic Pro. These are apps that you can use. Guys, let's wake up. Let's do this. All right. Thank you. So yeah, finally I've done. I am done. Yay! Questions from the house. Please type in your questions and I will respond to them. Please, no one should ask me or say they don't have a camera. I've already given you answer. Use your phone. Go and thank you for also clapping for me. Go and borrow from thank you, thank you. Go and borrow from a friend. Go and walk into a photo studio and ask. So you don't have an excuse. As long as you have as long as you are in this class, you have an Android phone that you can use to do this assignment. Minus that, you can take a picture. You can take a picture. You can go into a photo studio, beg them, carry any brand you want to advertise and show. I'm waiting for questions. If there are no questions, then we're good to go. Someone should tell me what we learned today, what he learned today or she learned today. You have a question, shoot. Um, please, can you unmute God's power? God's power, Peremo boy. I hope I got it right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so my question is, there's a camera I use, video camera actually.
Name,
So,
please.
Sony camera.
Sonny, what?
I can't really remember the full name,
All
but
right,
Sony camera.
all right, go ahead.
Okay, so I used it for video to record the video, but I discovered that I don't know the setting that I was supposed to touch, but whenever this person is moving, there is kind of this motion blur or something like that. So I wanted to know what could be, though I think you mentioned it, but I want to be like more clearer. What could be the problem and then the solution to it?
Okay. Okay, Grace, I'll come to you. But before that, Gospel, well, there's one problem that we have as filmmakers. We are always fast, and we think that the camera is like us, and we think that we are Superman, and we think we can get everything. When you're doing an event style videography, right, you need to understand that your light changes, and you're working with two functions that, or three functions that affect light: aperture, ISO, shutter speed. These three functions affect light. For ISO, I need you to understand that once you're indoors, you can never go above 400. For ISO, once you're outdoors, you can get to 800 because it is more sensitive and there are more lights. Good. So your problem is between your shutter speed and your aperture. Now, when you go inside, because light has reduced, your picture seems dark. The next thing you do is to bring down shutter speed. When you bring down your shutter speed, it allows more light stay in. Therefore, you have your blur. And maybe the lens you're using, it doesn't have a wider aperture, like 1.2, maybe it's a 2.4 aperture. By so doing, your image does not have enough light. But imagine where you have a lens of 1.8. When you enter inside the room, the only thing you should look at is your aperture. Reduce your aperture. Because once your shutter speed is set, let your shutter speed be set, unless you are an event style photographer. When I mean an event style photographer, that when you go outside, you increase your shutter speed to 160 so that it's very sharp. Now, if you're a filmmaker and you're filming at 50 and your frame rate is 25, your pictures should be smooth. There should be no blur. But once your shutter speed goes down, let's say 30, 20, 11, you would definitely have blur. I hope I've been able to answer your question. Grace, yes, of course. There are apps that you can download on your phone and you can use them to achieve this. You can ask AI, what app will I use with this phone, can work with my phone, that can serve as a camera for shooting. When you say different modes, explain. You mean like aperture priority? These are auto mode. When you set your camera to auto, it will ask you whether you want aperture priority, shutter speed priority, or ISO priority. When you do that, it will be changing ISO in sensitivity of your light to give you a picture. I think that is all right now for today. If there's nothing, somebody's coming. When does the practical class begin in Lagos? I know that we are going to try to go from one region to the other, but not now. For now, we are doing practical classes in Enugu. For those around Enugu, you can come. Then you talk to the admin, and they would respond back. But I know that we are going to do regional, so definitely we may get to within or around Lagos, and we'll have that practical session with you. Is there any other question? No problem. No problem. I'm glad that you're understanding the class and all. All right, thank you. I think that's all for now. Have a nice day and good night.